Welcome back to the Star Trek Convention. I'm your unofficial host, Heather Ferris, and I am joined by Fred and Rocky, and we're going to watch the next panel, which is on Pike. I'm so excited. We are going to see Pike from Discovery. This is so fantastic. Are you guys excited?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, definitely.
Totally. So we hope you enjoy, have fun, join us at the very end where we are going to be talking about it, and we hope to see you there.
Love you too. Anson, you were a Trek fan growing up, we've all heard that, but so doing Discovery, what was the coolest of the cool things? Like if you were a kid and you wanted to do something cool on Star Trek, here you got your chance on Discovery. What was the coolest of the cool?
Every time I got to plant my butt in that chair. There's nothing like it. I mean, that thing has become a cultural touchstone for us humans. So yeah, getting occupied that chair was so surreal every time I did it. And the bridge scenes in general, because I mean, those were, I think I can speak for most of the cast, those are long scenes because of the amount of coverage that we have to do, but we always had a blast doing this because everybody was on set.
Right.
You know, and it was, school was in session, and we had a really great time.
Now, Pike arrived on the show basically as the light to Lorca's darkness. To your thinking, what drives Pike? What does he stand for?
I think, you know, one of the few things, I was just talking about this actually, and these few people I just met, is one of the few things that I knew going in was that Pike was Gene Roddenberry's first vision of what a Starfleet captain should be. So I knew that Pike had to reflect Starfleet code and conduct even more than Kirk. That's sort of that's what I started from. And I don't know, does that answer your question?
Sort of. Now, some actors feel that villains are more interesting to play than good guys or heroes. One, do you subscribe to that theory?
Yes.
And two, how do you go about imbuing Pike with layers of depth?
The reason villains are more fun to play in my mind. Number one, you never have to guess what the villain's agenda is. It is very clear. Every now and then with not so good writing, which I didn't have to worry about with this job, but sometimes you think that, you know, your protagonist's agenda is to be a perfect human being who eats lunch every day. But with Pike, I don't think that was an issue. You know, what was the part of the Pike?
How did you go about imbuing him with layers of depth when you go with...
Why did the writers do that?
But you had to play it. You had to make it sing.
This is true. I think Pike is smart enough to know that his greatest asset is his crew. And it's also his greatest weapon. And that's why I like how the writers put Pike on the bridge and made him unafraid to go, I have no ideas, or I'm lost. Best idea wins, go. And they make for great bridge scenes. In terms of his own complexity, I certainly think that he's not perfect, which no protagonist should be. He definitely has ego issues, but I think he's becoming mature enough to realize that. I think that in The Cage, we saw a much younger Pike, who was a little bit too self-involved to be an effective captain. And then he grew into that, but he's still struggling with certain aspects of his personality. So I think that when he makes that decision in episode 12 to carry through with his destiny, that's a big step for him as a person.
Now, there are many fans out here with physical challenges. There are many combat veterans who are here, huge Star Trek fans. Pike is an inspiration to a lot of these folks. Pike, as you just said, knew his fate, and he still makes the choice that he makes. How did you approach playing that?
Well, that whole sequence, we shot over the course of like 3 weeks in very small snippets. So, I can remember the first stage direction for that scene when he grabs the crystal was something like, his soul gets sucked inside and he sees his past, but not the past. No, he sees his future, but not the future that he thought he would have, and then completely destroys his entire ontological as a concept of the universe. And I'm just like, what? Okay. I can try. So I'm a big believer in that any great work of art is a collection of teeny little choices. And how you put them together is a matter of craft and taste. And I steal a lot. In fact, a lot of the film language from that sequence we took from the last chapter of 2001, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, because when we first started going over the scene, it was just from my Pike's point of view. And I was like, no, they see each other. They have to see each other. It has to be a dual experience. So again, I have no idea if that answered your question.
It's all good. Now I mentioned, there are folks with physical challenges and veterans out there. What does it mean to you to be the guy who is imbuing this character that so many people love and respect and think of as a hero?
Surreal. First of all, it's just surreal for me to walk onto the set. I certainly don't think that what I do is as challenging as being a soldier or a teacher. But it does mean an enormous amount to do this thing that can be so solipsistic and so self-involved. And then suddenly you find yourself doing something that is about something not only bigger than you, because I played Jesus before, but to also be a part of a community and a mindset and a cultural touchstone that spans generations, spans cultures, spans languages. I never thought that I would be part of something so big and important to so many people, and yet it means a lot.
Now you walked on the set and you were the focus of many scenes, yet you were the new kid on the Discovery block. That can be awkward. How welcoming to you were this cast and crew?
Enormous. The first thing that Siniqua did when she saw me was run up to me and hug me. She does, I think, to most newcomers. Doug as well. But I get a hug from Doug every single day.
I think a lot of fans out here have been hugged by Doug. Am I right? Yeah. Doug's a hugger.
Yeah.
But in terms of being welcomed to the set.
Oh, they made me feel immediately welcome, and they had already obviously achieved such a relaxation and love for one another that was palpable when I got there. And I was just out on the floor, and a few of my castmates came up, and I had that now going right with me, and it feels great.
And then talk about working with Ethan and Rebecca.
Oh God, what a pain in the ass.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Well, I worked with Rebecca first for that scene in episode 5, and we met that morning, and then it was like. See what I mean?
Anything can happen here, folks.
But I started working with Rebecca the day I met her, and it was just it was like we'd known each other years. We really bonded over our dogs. And, just had a great time working with her. And then Ethan, yeah, you can tell he's a good dude, and I've really grown to appreciate not only my opportunity to work with both those people, but to appreciate the fact that I can call them friends. And I text them and we talk, and Ethan and I have the weirdest relationship because we see each other like every other weekend, but in different parts of the world. And we trade sci-fi books all the time. Yeah.
Give us a such as on the sci-fi books.
Well, he made me read A Canticle for Leibowitz, which is one of the best books I've ever read. And I just sent to him, or maybe he got this one for himself, but I'm making him read Diaspora by Greg Egan.
Now, lots of fans out in the world and lots of fans right here in this room want a full-on Pike Spock #1 series set on the These characters struck such a chord that you're getting this applause like that for people wanting to see more. And how interested would you be if the opportunity actually arose?
I do have an announcement to make. There is coffee available towards the back of the room.
Anson Mount making friends.
Look, I've never had a response to anything that I've ever done like this. It's overwhelming. I didn't expect it. Not sure it's entirely deserved. All right. Writers may have had something to it. But, you know, first of all, thank you. Yeah, it feels great to be appreciated for what you do, but particularly with this fan base, this family. Obviously, it's something that I would love to do. It was something. It was never on my bucket list because, you know, I never thought that's something that could be on my bucket list. But yeah, it would be wonderful. I love the franchise. I love these people. And we'll see, you know, like there's a lot of things going on at that network right now and within the franchise. And these decisions have to do with many, many things that float above my pay grade or even, you know, outside of my realm of knowledge. So I'm about up to date as you guys.
But speaking of more Pike, we will see you in several of the short treks. So how did they approach you about that? Were you already wrapped on the show and they brought it up? Or was it an after the fact? How did that come together?
Alex called and said, hey, thinking about doing some Enterprise stories. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Was this while you were still on the show or had you wrapped?
Oh, no, this was after we wrapped, and they just started sort of like hashing out ideas for like building up to third season, what they wanted to do with it.
Now, I know you cannot address specifics about the short tracks, but maybe tell us a little bit about the tone of them and how much fun you had playing Pike again in this shorter format.
The tone.
How different are they? Are they adventures? Are they a little more? The teaser trailer they showed had some comedy in it, for example. That's where I'm going with tone.
Right. That's one of the things that I like about Pike and the show in general is that, you know, adventure and also, as I discovered in Westerns, it's easy to get too deliberate sometimes, and you gotta play the back foot every now and then. So yeah, there's a lot of fun. I think you're really gonna enjoy them. It's great material, I can say that, and that's about what I can say. Yeah.
Now I have some news you may not even be aware of. Oh, guys, can we roll a little video? Should be a monitor down there, right in front of you.
Possible future. One that could determine by our actions. Yours and mine.
Show me minutes of Star Trek Discovery Season 2. All 14 episodes with brilliant picture and sound. Plus 2 short treks that relate to episodes from this second season.
What is out there beyond the skies?
This extraordinary 4-disc set contains over 2 hours of exclusive special features.
Captain on the bridge.
Including 9 featurettes.
I can't believe how many resources they poured into building the Enterprise bridge.
Here we are at the Enterprise. We're in the process of building it. It's styled after the original series, and the classic orange railings are yet to come, so there'll be 4 of them coming here.
Orange? Really? Yeah.
Also, audio commentaries on 4 episodes. Deleted scenes.
No offense, but we're trying to solve time travel.
And a gag reel.
Lieutenant Spock, this is Captain Pike.
Yes.
I loved the journey of the Red Angel suits. It was an example of art being made. I just kept screaming, "This is Star Trek!" As long as Discovery exists here and now, this will never be over. Discovery has to go to the future.
I need you to hold her together.
Star Trek Discovery Season 2 on Blu-ray and DVD. Coming to your collection November 12th.
I can take Discovery to the future. I won't be able to come back.
Next time.
My takeaway is Captain Spike.
We did commentary for a lot of the episodes. I did, Ethan and I did commentary for, I think, episode 12. And then Frakes and I did commentary for episode 2. And then there are others that, beyond that don't involve us. But,
Very cool. Guys, I'm going to open it up to questions for a few minutes for Anson until we get Jason out here as well, and then we'll have the 2 of you together. So why don't we start on the lady on the left?
Hi, Anson. Thank you for coming. I'm here with my sister Cheryl and my niece Diana. It's a family affair. But we absolutely love you. And you have such great chemistry with everyone on the set. And I was wondering, are you aware of it when you're acting, what great chemistry you have?
Yeah, I mean, when it's at its best, you're not thinking about that. But yeah, you always have to make the extra effort to engage in the moment, even when you've done it 36 times. And with this cast, it's easy because they're so committed, they're so present, they're so on the team, and talented. So yeah, in that way, you do those.
Also, real quickly, I have a friend, she calls you her husband, and her name is Angie, and could you just say hi to her, please?
Hi, Angie. Already married.
How long have you been married to Angie?
I think my wife would have something to say about that.
Hey guys, do me a favor, just for time purposes, let's keep it to one question. Let's go to your right, Anson.
Hi, Anson.
Hi.
First and foremost, thank you. You're doing a great job playing Captain Pike. Excellent work. I finally watched the season 2 finale just 2 days ago. I finally got caught up. That you've been lucky to captain 2 iconic ships that we all have grown to love. And that battle sequence, I'd say, was the most epic battle sequence I think has ever been done in Star Trek. What was it like to prepare for it? And then when it came time to film it, just how was it, to do all that?
Well, the general rule of thumb is the more exciting a scene is to watch, the more grueling, long, tedious, and boring it is to shoot. Because you have to make so many tiny little pieces that are going to stitch together so quickly. That was not the case because we were coming towards the end of the season and we were all feeling like, oh, school's about to be out, we're really enjoying each other's company. And we knew that it was going to be an incredible sequence. The hardest part on Star Trek is that so much of what's going on you are not seeing. they're telling you what to imagine, sometimes giving you, points to focus on so everybody has the same eye line, where you're having to imagine all of this stuff. And then I didn't even really have it all straight in my head until I saw it. And it's so great to see the CG cut in after all that work, because they really do a great job of making it blend.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi. I liked you in Hell's on Wheels, and then you came on to Star Trek. I was really happy about it. So I guess my question is, Hell's on Wheels had a lot of mud and dirt, and then Star Trek is a lot of CG, so which one was easier? If that is a good question.
I don't know about easier, because they're both difficult and both fun in different ways. The big difference for me personally is I just like to work outside. And two shows could not be more different. We were all days exterior on Hell on Wheels, and all days pretty much interior on Star Trek. So my druthers is to work outside and learn to dance with the elements and improvise in that way, instead of being stuck in a soundstage, which is necessary for a lot of sci-fi. So, but you take the good with the bad.
Thank you. Let's go to your right.
First of all, great job, very talented. When you have to conjure up the emotions, for example, in season 12, when you saw your older self, and you probably constantly have to reshoot it, how do you conjure up those emotions constantly, take after take?
Well, thanks for asking. That's a good question, right? Every actor is different. And we all know the tension that churns up in our gut when we see that little stage direction breaks down something. So how are you supposed to make that happen? You learn how you operate, not necessarily as an emotional creature, but as an artist and a physical being at a certain point, and you know what your body needs. Because really, crying it's really just it's a physical response. Sure, their emotions can be caught up in it, but all it is it's an instinctual, it's a leftover instinctual need to cry out for our mommy to come and save us, right? And so I've just learned that the less pressure I put on myself, and the less I try to figure out, other than the mental architecture of this scene in front of me, and just show up and say, okay, where am I today? Am I tired? Am I feeling good? And then what can I use? And then you just have to go for it. You just gotta go for it. And yeah, so in some ways it's hard to answer that question. But, thank you for asking.
Thank you. Anson, before I go over to the left again, tell us quickly about your podcast. I know that's a deeply important project for you.
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Yeah, my podcast, it's called The Well. And I don't know if any of you listen to Radioland. You listen to Radioland? It's kind of like Radioland, but instead of stories about science, it's stories about creativity. And Doug Jones is on there now. Ethan Peck is on there now. I tried to make him sound halfway interesting. Didn't really succeed.
You could try again.
This season featured interviews with Alice Cooper talking about his golf game. What else do we have? We had a synesthetic artist. We have Doug Vacach, who started METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And it's just coming at the subject of thinking outside the box from as many different angles as possible. And we worked very hard on it. It's a passion project. I hope you can check it out. It's on all major platforms. So The Well, or just search my name and find it.
Very cool. Let's go to the left.
Hi, I'm a huge fan. I absolutely loved Hell on Wheels. It's one of my top 10 shows of all time. and I love Star Trek, obviously, and I apologize for this question. But you were part of another very large franchise recently, and I was wondering if you could just talk about your experience being in Inhumans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you'd given me my choice of what Marvel character to play, Black Bolt would have been number 2. Number 1 would have been Gambit. And I couldn't believe that I got that call, and I leapt at it, and I had a very good time doing it. That was another really good cast of just good people, and getting to work in Hawaii. It wasn't too. I really was, I live on the East Coast, so I was really hoping the show would get to where we go to New York, because we didn't have much left to do in Hawaii. But, say la vie.
What did you think about the fan reaction?
I guess I don't pay too much attention to that. I mean, there are ways in which you can't not pay attention, but I don't really go too deeply into what are people thinking, what are people saying, because then I either can't do my job or I'm wasting time when I could be doing a podcast. So,
Great. Let's go to the right. Guys, we've got about 4 minutes before we bring Jason out, so do me a favor, let's keep the questions short and quick.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say I love the way you portray Pike on the show. It's one of my favorite parts. And I wanted to ask, so a couple of years ago, I read David Mack's Section 31 book, Control, and I was wondering whether the threat assessment program that appeared on Discovery Season 2, whether it came from David Mack's, concept, or whether it was in the works for so long that he was actually told to include it in that book.
well, unfortunately, you're asking the wrong person, because I don't get to step in the writer's room. And the writers do come and spend time on the set if it's their particular episode, but things are so hectic, we don't often get to have those conversations. We're just trying to figure out how to get done what we have done in front of us. It's a very good question, and I hope you do get an opportunity to ask it of one of the writers.
Thank you. Let's go to the left.
Mr. Brown, I have a fact-check question, if that's okay.
Oh, good. We're okay. Let's see if I can answer.
I'm fascinated reading this way. Go for it. Let's hear it.
I heard during season 2 that Star Trek Discovery had a series of reshoots. And before the reshoots, Pike was actually a very religious man. He did a lot of praying, apparently. And I didn't know if that was just rumor or nonsense, or if it was for real. I was hoping you could shed some light on the situation.
Sure. And no, I mean, yes. I can try to answer your question to tell you why I'm not going to answer your question. I don't think you really want to know how the rabbit got into the hat. And, I mean, maybe you do, but I don't want to share that because it's not mine to share, because the writing is not, I mean, I just help to enliven what's on the page. At the end of the day, an actor is a writer's assistant. And so I don't feel comfortable to talk about early drafts of a building that they thought was not structurally sound or sound in ways that they needed to be something else in order to fit in with the cityscape. So, is that okay?
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thanks for asking.
Let's quickly go to the right.
Yeah, I know that a year ago at San Diego Comic-Con, they set it up for you to meet Chris Hunter, the son of Jeffrey Hunter, who played the original Captain Pike. And I was wondering was that your idea? What, did they set it up for you? Did they surprise you with it?
I don't really know. I'm not sure if Chris got in touch with them or they got in touch with Chris or how that happened. But I believe the PR team with CBS All Access introduced me to Chris at one of our events, a fan meet and greet kind of thing in San Diego. And he was a lovely man. And he had come all that way just to tell me that he thought his father would have approved of my and that meant a lot.
Thank you. Let's stay on the mic. Let's get this last one in, and we'll bring out Jason.
Quick question. First of all, I'm glad you're here. Question is, are you prepared to work 7 seasons with us? Because after the 3 short treks, you're going to be on forever.
From your mouth to CBS's ears.
Thank you.
We really want you to be here.
Thank you, sir.
And we are back. Again, hope you enjoyed the panel. I am Heather Ferris, your unofficial host for STLV 2019, and I am by Fred and Rocky. And what did you guys think of that panel? Did you guys like that?
I love Anson Mount.
Yeah.
That guy is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing him talk in person, room that you're in, the guy's got a voice. There's something about a guy that's got a voice.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love it. You can listen to the guy talk all day. And as far as an actor, he's wonderful. Everything I've seen him in has been wonderful. Have you guys seen Hell on Wheels?
No,
I have not. Oh God, Hell on Wheels was an amazing show on. I can't remember what cable channel it was on, but
we need to binge watch it basically.
it's a binge watch. Colm Meaney is the bad guy in that show. And
really?
I mean, the funny thing is that watching that show, I'm like, why is Chief so upset? Chief is really upset and angry in this show. But it was a bad, stupid joke that didn't go over well.
Yeah, for those of you that may not remember, Colm Meaney played Chief Miles O'Brien.
Chief O'Brien, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. But anyway, if you got to see his performance in that. It's Anson Mount's. Everybody's performance, but he's got a completely different look as the character Colin Bohannon. But we're talking about Trek. We want to talk about Pike, and I just love the guy.
I loved how with Discovery they're bringing in the young Pike, so you sort of get to see this immature, rash, person grow into a very mature captain. With the decisions that he makes, especially the decision that it affects his life, and he knows it's gonna, and he does it anyway.
Yeah, and the way he is as a captain, he's making decisions, and it's very reminiscent of original series, the feel. When you watch Star Trek, you want to feel like those commands on the bridge, and you're hearing the thoughts thought out by the captain in the most way. Mm-hmm. His character does that.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, season 2 seemed to feel more like Star Trek that we remember.
I agree completely.
And I was really impressed with the Captain Pike character and seeing Anson talk in person. That was awesome. It just kind of reinforced the impression that I had of him on screen.
Yeah.
When you see him in person, you realize how cool of a dude he is. He's cool. Yeah. Some guys just got it. Cool dudes are.
And I'm surprised too how much they made him look like Pike. He's
got it.
Yeah.
He's got that look to him.
Mm-hmm. And I liked how he was talking about too how they would go into the set and he would basically get a hug from Doug every single time he saw him, or every day.
That was, I'm trying to imagine what their set's like. It's got to be wonderful.
Oh, wouldn't that just be so amazing just to see that and watch that?
The sets physically are friggin' amazing, but the characters on the set, so friggin' amazing, right?
The characters are characters.
Yeah, you gotta love those guys, and you see them on stage talking back and forth. They're amazing. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
You get a sense of kind of fun these guys are having when they're doing these shows.
They do a lot of these documentaries and behind the scenes with these Star Trek shows, and what I really want to see is exactly what you're talking about, like an average day. What was it like working with these people? What was it like when they joked around and, pulled pranks on each other and that type of. That would be a really, really great thing to see on the next documentary that they make about this. Maybe include a little bit more of that type of behind.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because one of the things that was was that the DVD for season 2 is coming out in the fall.
Oh, that was the big announcement.
Yes.
That got me with this one. Big announcement. It's going to happen. Okay, what is it? He's going to get a show. He's going to get a show. He's going to get a show. No, the season 2 Blu-rays are ready. Oh, you got me again, guys. Thanks a lot. But did to me last year with season 1 Blu-ray. But it's okay. I'm all right.
But among other things, the DVD is supposed to have bloopers and behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that because I'm an iTunes guy. I bought it on iTunes. I also pay for CBS All Access, and you get some of the stuff on All Access for sure. I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm clicking something wrong. I didn't see it. Saying I've got to go run out and buy the disc. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Who has Blu-ray players that are hooked up now? Funny, Netflix and instant access and stuff. We do have the PlayStation, so I can pop a disc in that thing. But then you got to sit there with the remote control and hit the right input and get it all pre-programmed right, which can be painful for some. So anyway, yeah, I want to see all the extras. I can't wait to see all that stuff.
Just ask a neighborhood kid.
I'm the neighborhood kid.
They're probably an expert.
I'm the one who programmed the home theater remote. I should know how to do this very easily. It's a clumsy thing to go find a disc and put it in. I want to hit the instant button now.
I love that.
It's all about Netflix and chill, right? Anyway, you're welcome.
So
Trek and chill.
Going back to the panel.
Back to the panel, yes.
Back to the panel.
There was another interesting point. People were asking Anson if he'd be willing to come back as
Oh, you did come back in the short trek.
That's a good point.
I can't wait to see those.
That's a good point. There are 3 short treks with crew, but I would very much like to see him come back in a separate TV series.
They know we want Pike series. Yeah. We want it. They know. They've talked. It's like, I hear you guys want this. Huh? Wink, wink. Yeah. And we never got that announcement this year.
No.
It's sad, but I've got theories.
But Pike didn't say, or I'm sorry, Anson said no to it. So it sounds like if the circumstances, he'd be willing to do it.
Yeah.
The question is, it would. Yes.
I look at it this way. They built a beautiful Enterprise set. They're just going to shuffle that thing and burn it? Or are they going to store it and keep it ready? Because it's friggin' gorgeous.
Well, I like how they're actually giving us TV shows now.
Yeah.
For such a long time, no more new shows.
Yeah, you'd have to wait for a J.J. Abrams film.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, wait, yes.
Well, okay.
Agreed. 2 hours is not enough.
The you get when you watch some of these movies is, that was awesome. That was one episode.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Where's the rest of the season? We want more seasons.
That's exactly how I feel.
I mean, when you grow up watching Trek TV, you want more TV. And I love what they're doing with short treks. I love what they're doing with Discovery and Picard.
Oh, I can't wait for
Can't wait for Picard.
I cannot wait for Picard.
What the hell are you doing, John Luke?
Looking forward to that. And I love production quality, movie standard.
Oh, production quality's through the roof. It is the best in the business right now, and top notch all the way. You cannot complain about quality.
Yeah.
So the love these shows, they look great. We want more of them, please. And more of Anson, because pretty too.
So let's keep hoping. Keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed, and let's.
Anything else happen?
I'm crossing everything.
Oh, cross, yes.
I liked how he was talking about the podcast that he does. It's sort of like
I gotta listen to that. I've been hearing about it for a couple years now. I gotta remember to go get that one.
Have you guys ever listened to Radio Lab? It's like Radio Lab. So have you ever listened to Radio Lab?
No, I haven't.
That is one of my favorite shows. I've listened to almost every Radio Lab show that there is. It's like a science NPR type of a thing. So if it's anything like that, I'm going to go home and I'm binge listening to that.
And they're getting some of the Discovery actors on it too, right?
I think that's what he said. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all for it. I got to go get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I see one challenge developing. It seems like we're gradually accumulating a list. Things we need to watch or listen to before the next one.
And read. Because with every single panel, you got that same question.
Everybody,
Every single
what
panel.
book would you recommend?
Right. And I was pretty amazed that most of the panels, they all said the same thing, The Alchemist. Go check out The Alchemist. To go by The Alchemist, because everyone said, it wasn't an actor, it was multiple actors.
It's fascinating.
So.
All these actors have tons of books.
Yeah.
I love that about them. I wish I had time to read those books.
Right.
I don't have time to listen to the podcast, so how am I going to get the book?
It can be challenging. I mean,
we're people now. I mean, we want to stream our TV and do it yesterday.
Right?
Right. I mean, between keeping up with emails, social media.
Oh, yeah,
watching
that whole
movies
thing.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before that I didn't cover?
Aside from my slight man crush on Anson. They did mention Marvel's Inhumans.
Yes.
Seen that. He was great in that. He didn't say a lot, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was saying, speaking of Marvel, if he was going to play the X-Men universe, he would want to play Gambit in X-Men. I thought that was really interesting.
That was. Another thing that was interesting was just how impressed Anson Mount was when he walked on the, the sets.
Yeah.
On the bricks.
They did such a good job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that does it for the panel. Thank you guys so much for talking with me about it. Thank you guys for watching. We really do appreciate it. And join us again for the panel. Until then, join Resistance is Futile.
You will be assimilated.
I totally will be.
No exceptions.
No